There is very little seismic activity in the Reykjanes Peninsula of Iceland at the moment. That is in the area of the Svartsengi volcanic system, very important because that means that we are accumulating magma, but there is not enough earthquake to actually make it flow. Other than the event that we had in the 4th of November, there is nothing. We have reached the 80% level of the previous eruption, the volume of the magma. That was 60 million cubic meters. It makes the current one around 48 million cubic meters, which translates in the weight to 142 megatons of magma. Density of the rock is 3 times the water, so we can actually measure it by that, multiply that number by 3. We have placed more cameras, although the weather is not good and we have a strong winds. And one of the reasons that the cameras are very obscure, you cannot see much, and the seismic activity is low, is because the wind actually covers as a noise most of the smaller earthquakes that we should record otherwise if it was the weather not that bad. What we are witnessing is that the Icelandic Meteorological Office have put more cameras in the area, in the areas that actually stood out, like little islands out of the sea of the lava. These are the areas higher than the other places, so they were not covered with lava, so they are safest there. So these are in the north and the south extreme of this earthquake zones that we had in the 4th of November. We have placed them there. This is all that we have available. This is also the update by the Icelandic Meteorological Office. I have also the video added to this about the previous swarm of the earthquakes, or cluster of the earthquakes, I should say, in the 4th of November that happened. I added to the end of this video, so you can watch that. There is a lot of information and graphics about this for you there too. We had a cluster of sudden earthquakes in the Sundhnúks crater chain of the Reykjanes Peninsula of Iceland. This happened today, and I marked it on the map for you. You can see that this is a red rectangle. And these earthquakes were, numbers of them were less than 100, so they were not a swarm, but they were significant. They were concentrated in just around the midday. As you can see here on the temporal diagram, which shows the time of them. The depth of them was interesting. I marked them here. They were around 4 or 5 kilometers deep. That is the depth of the Svartsengi magma reservoir. This is where we have the magma, like an aquifer, filled up from the deeper source and coming. Earthquakes happening there practically along this line. What they will do is to shake the ground, and through that shaking, they create the conditions for the magma to flow. Magma is a non-Newtonian fluid. It's not like a normal fluids like water or anything like that. Doesn't flow naturally easy, especially if there had been some semi-hard magma like this yellow ones holding it back. So it needs some shaking. Shaking it makes it fluid. Practically, what we are seeing here is something like what you do when you eat fast food. I don't recommend it, but when you shake the ketchup in the fast food restaurant to pour it over your food, that is what you are doing. You make it fluid. The ketchup becomes fluid more. It can move easier. We are seeing it under the ground. Through the conduits, magma can move, come to the reservoir, and then eventually erupt. This is what we are seeing due to these earthquakes created by the movements of the earth crust, fracturing, creating fault lines along the extension of the Atlantic, mid-Atlantic ridge. And this is what also the Icelandic Meteorological Office in the latest updates is saying. We are seeing this situation. We have seen the earthquakes cluster. The earthquakes have possibly moved the magma, making it more fluid. So after that, no earthquake has been recorded. So the rising of the land due to the magma probably continues after this. This is what I can tell you. I have added more than that. It's not just a copy paste. It is a geologist, proper geologist, explaining to you the reason in the physical terms. This is not the first time we are seeing such a thing. We had in such a similar situation in the March 2024, which we had this small cluster of the earthquakes and a similar situation. It didn't lead to any eruption, but movement of the magma. And I will play that video that I made on that time about this situation. With the continuous tremors, which are the indicators of the movements of the plates along the Reykjanes Peninsula of Iceland, we are seeing the accumulation of the magma practically due to the creation of the voids in the ground. We have now 20 million cubic meters of the magma under the Svartsengi. That is 60 megatons of the basaltic magma in that area. They create a change in the pressure in the boreholes and movements in the seals and dikes. You need shaking to have the ketchup out of the bottle. The same applies to the magma under the ground. Earthquakes create that shaking. It makes it flow. It helps it flow. And then we see these little earthquakes, which are actually helping the flow of it, rising to the surface of the magma. When it reaches the surface, this will go easily through the cracks between the, in the area east of the Svartsengi. There are plenty of cracks. This is shown also on this hazard map. On the color of the pink, you can see that this is the area which has the maximum number of the cracks. There are pathways for the magma to erupt to the surface. This is the Grindavik Rift Valley. We are talking about fault lines, both sides of it control it, and the magma can move from Svartsengi reservoir to that area and erupt. This is the update that we have about this volcano.